Hello, hello there. My name's Murray with my co-host Corey. We are the Real Guys, and this is the Real Show with two E's. Today, you gotta jump on your speeder bike and join the Rebel Alliance because we're talking about Andor Season 2. Now, Corey, you're a big fan of Andor Season 1, is that right?
It was very good.
Mm. And as always, I'm with my co-host Corey. How you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
And as always, you can watch us on YouTube or listen to us on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. Anyway, get your podcast, any audio platform, you can listen to us there. Or you could listen to us on the HoloNet if you're in a galaxy far, far away. Because that's what it's called, Corey.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the HoloNet. Yeah, listen to us on the HoloNet. What would the real show be if we were in Star Wars? I
Hmm.
guess we'd be reviewing like the Holo
I guess
uh,
so.
dramas and stuff like that, wouldn't we?
Yeah. But I don't know what it would be called. So yeah, I don't think they have film reels in Star Wars. I don't know if
No,
they
they
have.
don't. We'd be the Holo guys,
Yeah.
the Holo show, which would be. That's not bad. We should do that at some point. We should do an in-universe Star Wars thing. We've got to like dress like Star Wars characters, wear like a funky outfit and stuff, and then we've got to give like a Star Wars kind of review.
I'm
You've got
sure
to
we
be
can.
completely in universe core. You can't leave RP. That's the
No.
rule,
I'm sure we can figure
right?
something out.
Yeah, we've got to come up with some kind of character. That might be a fun thing to do. Maybe at the end of the month, hey. And of course, at the end of the month, because May is Star Wars month here at the
Correct.
Real Show, and we're kicking off with Andor season 2, which is the new hot ticket for Disney Plus Star Wars.
Yep.
They're coming out in 3 episode arcs,
Yep.
so you basically get a Star Wars film every Wednesday. You get 3 50-minute episodes, which is great. And we've already had 6. We're going to review the first 3,
Correct.
and then at the end of the season we'll watch them all and review them all.
Yep.
So a little bit of a two part review. Now you liked season 1,
I did
Corey.
enjoy season one. Correct.
How is season 2 improving on season 1?
I really liked the first 3 episodes of season one because it just feels very grounded
Mhm.
in the sense of this is very much like obviously this whole with Kaz and Andor, obviously Rogue One's connected and stuff, but
Mhm.
this is like most of this is like in the first episode especially you've got farmers and you've got people in a business meeting watching propaganda about spiders.
Yes, the
And it,
Gorman, because Gorman is all the rage, Corey.
yep,
Now, we're on season 2. We're 1 year later
yeah,
from
1 year
five
later it's the first
BBY.
episode.
We're 4 BBY,
Yep,
and you'll notice that this isn't a spoiler. Every arc is a year ahead.
yep,
So when you watch the next arc, we'll be 3 BBY and 2. So we're going right up to Rogue One.
yep,
That's the promise they're selling us on. We're going to go right up to Rogue One. So the first episode, 1 year later, we get a pick up on Andor. What's he up to?
yep,
What's Bix Colleen up to? She's in hiding on the farm planet Mina Rao. We see what Dedra's doing. Obviously, Ferrix didn't go very well
no,
for her, so now she's attending this board meeting with all these ISB guys and guys from the Tarkin Initiative. And who is there but our main villain, Director Orson Krennic,
yep,
played by Ben Mendelsohn again. Of course, we're big Krennic fans here
very
at The
good.
Real Show. Very good to see him again. He's going to transform the galactic economy, and he's much fruitier this
Yes,
time. He's fresher. He's bouncing about as the
he
director
is.
of advanced weapons research, and it's all about the Death Star
Yep.
project. And what do they need the people of Gorman for, Corey? We
Well,
revealed
we don't need the
the
spiders
spiders.
and the silk. There's a
Hmm.
certain stone or something that's
Yes,
underneath the ground.
the calcite.
Yes,
Yes, they need that, and that's how exactly how the guy says it.
exactly how he says it.
Yeah, they need it for the Death Star reactor.
Yeah,
So that way they've got to control Gorman somehow. So all eyes are on Gorman. All
all
eyes
eyes
are
on Gorman.
on Chandrilla, which we finally go and see, because Mon Mothma, Senator Mon Mothma, she's from Chandrilla. She's the Chandrillan senator, and her and her husband are planning a wedding for their daughter,
Correct.
who's marrying the son of Davos Skalden, who is a local oil baron.
Yes,
He's an oligarch, and they're marrying Leader off to. I think it's Leader. Is it Leader?
I think so.
Because I
I
keep
believe so.
getting Leader confused with Clada or Claire, who is Luthen's assistant.
Great.
Yes.
See, that's what happens when you know too much.
Yeah, yeah. Star Wars names start sounding similar. But I can tell them apart. It's fine. And Claire can't get through to anybody because Andor is busy on Sinar,
Yep.
home of Sinar fleet systems. You know what they make, Corey.
Well, he nicks something in the first episode.
He does, yes. He nicks the
It's the
TIE
TIE
Avenger.
Avenger.
Yes, you know the TIE Avenger, Corey.
Well, I didn't until I googled it
Okay.
because I was like, that that TIE fighter looks awesome. What is
Yeah,
it?
it does. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, it's a TIE Avenger, very nice.
I bet you looked at it and you thought, I bet that's something.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was like, I bet
Often,
it's something, and it's going to be something specific.
yes.
And I was like, that's the TIE
It is
Avenger.
the TIE Avenger. It is the advanced hyperdrive-equipped TIE fighter with rotary cannons and a
Yep.
disruptor weapon, and it completely that guy's gone.
Oh yeah.
That range trooper has been atomized.
Yep.
He's no longer existent.
No.
And great action scene where he can't fly the
Can't
TIE
fly it.
Avenger because it's He says it. They don't really focus on this in the first arc,
No.
but it was almost like he was trained to fly something else, and the fighter is different
Yeah.
to how we expected. Is that right?
It's I think second or third episode he's having a go at someone on comms being
Claire.
like it's not a plane
It's
that
Claire.
it's not the plane that I was like meant to fly or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Because he does the thing that you would expect to do, which is he has like this little ball handle and he goes
Yeah.
pushes it forward and he goes
Throttle.
admittedly backwards.
Yes, it does. Yeah, he puts on the throttle and he goes, yeah, forward, and he goes, oh, and he ends up in the reverse.
Yeah.
You know, we've all done it.
Yeah.
He goes reverse instead. So he has to fly out of the, has to break his way out of the Sinar facility.
Yep.
He's chased by two TIE Fighter advanced V1s, which is Star Wars Rebels fans will know that is the TIE Fighter that the Grand Inquisitor uses, and that most of the Inquisitors use. And of course they're produced by Sinar, so they're like their advanced TIE Fighter. But he wastes them and off he goes to a subplot with the Maya Pei Brigade, which is a
Correct.
great name for a group. And they are the rebel cell, which is, as we will find out, are on Yavin 4.
Yep.
Did you catch that reveal at the end, Corey,
I
of the
did.
episode? The Yavin Massassi Temple is there on Yavin 4. And the rebels are fractured because they've lost their leader in the
Correct.
ISB strikes from Season 1.
Yep.
Because we know that Maya Pei and... Oh, what's his name? The big Anto Krieger, that's
There we
his
go.
name. Anto Krieger and Maya Pei were both taken out by the ISB in Season 1. So we know that. So now Maya Pei's group is without leadership, they're fractured, and they form into like two little teams across this forest,
Yeah.
shooting at each other randomly and
Pretty much.
eating melons.
Eating melons that don't
Stinky
smell very good.
melons. No, stinky melons. Stinky melons. But that is, in episode 2, Sagrona Tima, which is the name for the Chandrillan toast that Perrin gives. And Davo is brought in all the stops for his son's wedding.
Yep.
He's got this big statue.
This little big statue is like,
Big
12
statue.
of them exist.
Yeah, 12 of them exist. They're from the Rakuten Empire, the Infinite Empire.
Yeah.
And who's bringing in this statue?
I'm not good with names, man.
It's Luthen.
That's it.
Yeah, Luthen Rail, played by Stellan Skarsgård. And he's coming. You'll know him as the Baron from Dune.
Correct.
Yes, he's in here. Stellan's in here. And, he's also an enigmatic rebel leader. He's the rebel cell kind of controller. He's the controller of the early alliance. And Mon's been going about with this guy called Tay Kolma. You know Tay Kolma. He's a banker. But he's put some money into Mon's rebel fund. But he might reveal it to Davo.
Yeah.
So it's up to Luthen to kind of deal with the problem. He's like, well, I've got to deal with this, He needs a number. He doesn't need a number, He needs a Cocoa Pop, mate.
Yes.
What's going to do to him? And also, around about in the wedding is a Velsartha, who you might remember, played by Faye Marseille.
Okay.
She is a Mon Mothma's cousin.
Right.
She's changed her hair now, so maybe
Okay.
that's why you didn't recognise her. Unless you did. She was from the Aldani arc in the Season 1, if you can remember.
I remember bits of season 1. I will have to admit I did have to like look up a quick recap.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened.
Most people did a Season 1 rewatch before
Yeah.
they actually watched this season, which I think might be a good fair way to go.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll be seeing a few more characters from Season 1 popping up in this season. And one of the Season 1 characters we see is Major Partagaz, played by Anton Lesser, who's my favourite sassy old man. Everyone's a sassy old man in this
Yeah.
show. Luthen, Davo, and Major Partagaz as well, as the ISB Major, who kind of sits in the central office. And I love the Coruscant shots.
Yeah.
In Season 1, Coruscant was very sort of grey and drab, and this time it's kind of livened it up a little bit. It looks a lot more lighter, a lot brighter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the sort of prequel Coruscant that we know, which is fun.
Yeah.
But also with the essence of sort of Imperials, we see the stormtroopers walking about. We see Imperial officers kind of moving around, so it feels a lot more Imperial controlled Coruscant, right? And on the ISB board, we see that Krennic's taking over because he wants this Gorman project, because they're going to build an armory in Gorman, and to control the usage of the Calcite. And that includes those two guys who sit on that board, who are like from the Gorman Press or something like that.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Gorman Propaganda Ministry, I suppose. And they're like, yes, you might know us from all this spider silk, but we actually like manufacture all these bad stories about Gorman, so people think that Gormans are really uptight or whatever. So that would be really easy to kind of manipulate the public on that one. And then we have episode 3, Harvest, which is where Cassian decides to go save Bix and Brasso because they're working illegally or working without visas. It's like
something like that, yeah. They're on the planet and they're not meant to be there.
So an Imperial inspection team turns up in a Gozanti freighter, which is fun to see a Gozanti. And they're down on the planet, the troopers, and Bix is in a bit of trouble.
Correct.
So it's Cassian has to fly down in his TIE Avenger and waste all the dudes.
Pretty much.
With missiles and cannons.
Because he is told that he can't contact, don't go home.
Yeah.
There's no contact, but she can't tell him why, and he just decides, I'm going to go there anyway.
Yeah, because they're there anyway, yeah. And he sorts that out problem real quick. But then Brasso, unfortunately, Brasso's shot.
He's just, it's gone, he was betrayed.
Yeah.
By his friend. He tries to run off, and it does not end
well. I don't think he was betrayed. I think he was trying to let that guy go.
Right.
Do you not think he was trying to throw that guy under the bus on purpose, so the Imperials wouldn't?
Maybe, because there was a little look between them at some point.
Yeah. He was trying to like save that guy by acting like, "Oh, you betrayed us, you dodded us in. Oh no, you're wrong." And the troopers are like holding him back, and he's trying to give that guy a free break. He's trying to let that guy off.
If it was that, he did do a lot. He gave him a pass to the number 800 or something, like a work slip and whatever.
And then he tries to ride off on his speeder bike, and that one stormtrooper who finally learned how to aim decided to shoot him in the back. See, the stormtroopers, they're a deadly presence in this. Season 1, they were wasting dudes with that big cannon, and now Season 2, they've got like sniper scopes on their E11s.
Well, it's fine, because they were never bad at aiming. They just missed on purpose.
Exactly. Everyone knows that, Corey. Everyone knows that, Corey. In reality, stormtroopers are effective shots, as we know in Andor. And Castian arrives to rescue Wilman Pack, who is the son of a guy from Season 1. I don't know what his dad's name is, but I remember who his dad was. I think he was just called Pack or something like that.
Might have been.
And his son and Bix, and they ride off in the TIE Avenger.
Yeah.
And that's the first arc of Andor Season 2. Again, let's talk about few notes here. Just tremendous performances all around. Yep. Obviously, we've mentioned Ben Mendelsohn, Stellan Skarsgård, but Denise Gu as Dedra Miro. Is Cyril in this? Is Cyril in the first arc? I think he is.
Yeah, I think so.
Cyril Khan. Yeah. Because he's at like the Bureau of Standards, and then his mum comes around. He gets really embarrassed for his mum.
Yes.
He does that meme where he lies on the bed, And yeah, Diego Luna as well as the front man for Andor, and of course Geneva Riley, who is since 2005. I recently rewatched Revenge of the Sith in the cinema because they did the re-release. So I actually went to the cinema to watch it, and despite the fact she's credited in the film, but she's not in it because she's in deleted scenes. But she does play Mon Mothma in those deleted scenes, and she is credited in the film. So since 2005, Geneva Riley has been Mon Mothma, which is absolutely fantastic. And she's not aged a day.
No.
She still looks like she does in 2005, which is fantastic, really. And Mon Mothma gets a lot of great time in this show. Who's to say that Tony Gilroy came out and said Andor was initially pitched by Disney as a K2SO Cassian Andor buddy cop adventure, and it's now become this.
Yeah.
Which is like the most successful Star Wars show on Disney Plus because of how real it is, how gritty it is, how much it frames Star Wars in like a less of a sort of light side and dark side, and more these are humans doing their job. And sometimes when you do your job, you have to, destroy a guy with a disruptor cannon on a TIE Avenger. Sometimes you have to assassinate a guy in a car, that kind of stuff.
it's fine. All those people on the planet.
Yeah,
Kidnapping
yeah.
him. They just probably ain't got any
Gorman,
food.
yeah, whatever. Ferrix, yeah, yeah. Brasso hit that dude with a brick in season one.
He
Remember,
did.
sometimes you got to hit that guy with a brick.
Yep.
Sometimes you
They
got to hit that guy with a hammer.
they all got attacked by that big beast thing, and Cassian's like, I'll just leave.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you've just got to leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to leave him, And he does. He takes off because they were on Yavin and they get attacked by that big kind of reek thing.
Yeah.
I guess it was called. What was it called? It had a weird name. I think it's actually new. I don't think it's actually in Legends or whatever. But so yeah, he just takes off in the TIE Avenger. Leave him. Um, so shall we drop a real rating on the first arc,
Yep.
and then when the rest of the show comes out, we can advance that real rating.
Correct.
I'm gonna go strong with room for improvement. Great arc, a characterful, good episodes. Let's give it a. I'm between 7.5 and 8.
So am I.
Okay, which way are you leaning?
I don't know.
I'm happy to go with a 7.5, but with room to go higher on the rest of the show.
That's the room that I'm thinking.
Okay. I like that. And while we have a few extra minutes here, let's see if we can go for a weekly rec from the both of us. I imagine it'll be a Star Wars themed weekly rec.
Correct.
And if it's not, what you doing? So you go first, Corey.
I had a couple ideas.
Okay.
In mind. I was just trying to think of anything Star Wars related.
Right.
I recently discovered, as we talked about before the show, the 1 hour dance mix of the pie. And I was like, I could recommend that, maybe not.
With the song Niamos, which has become very successful.
Like a remix of that.
Yeah. Well, it's a remix of the opening song to the planet Niamos.
Yeah.
From season 1, just after Andor gets away from the Aldani heist and before the prison arc.
Yes.
I think it's a song that plays when they show the beach.
With that droid, which Wikipedia has only called the speaker droid, and that is it.
Yeah. There's the disco ball droid.
Yes.
The flashing disco ball droid. Well, in the next arc, because I've seen all 6 episodes at the minute. They're out in the minute. There's also like a camera droid. There's like a paparazzi camera droid in the next arc.
Right.
So there's like weird droid usages in this.
So I was going to recommend that.
Right.
But I was like, okay, well, do I recommend something else? Star Wars related. Obviously, last time with the Daredevil, we both recommended comics with Daredevil.
Yeah.
And I was tempted to recommend some comics I have for that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to recommend a comic, but it's going to be the one-shot, one-off for Rogue One.
All right.
Which features Cassian and also K2SO. I believe it's just called Rogue One, Cassian and K2SO something.
Okay.
Basically, how Cassian met K2SO in the first place.
Which will be changed when we watch this show, because I imagine they're not going to do that comic.
I mean, it was alright.
Because it's the same way they're not going to do. I know it's alright, but they're not going to do the episode of Star Wars Rebels, Season 3, Episode 8, Secret Cargo, where Mon Mothma is transferred from Coruscant to Dantooine by the Rebels Ghost crew. They're not going to do that. But sure, they'll get her onto that transport, which we see leaving Coruscant and going to the Ghost. Cause I just rewatched the episode a couple of days ago, and just to refresh my memory, they'll do that, but they probably won't show, Ezra or Hera or Zeb or any of the Rebels crew. But speaking of Rebels, my recommendation is Star Wars Rebels. Not the whole show. No. The episode, Season 3, Episode 4, In the Name of the Rebellion, Part 1. It's a two-parter where we see the clash of the newly formed Rebel Alliance with Saw Gerrera's partisans. So you get Saw Gerrera, you get Mon Mothma, you get a Krennic mention, you get Death Troopers. A lot of Rogue One-y stuff is happening, right? Yeah. And also you get just the Rebel team bouncing about with the Alliance. So I'm going to recommend Season 3, Episode 4, In the Name of the Rebellion, Part 1. I've actually just started my Star Wars Rebels rewatch, still on Season 1, but this is a great episode, and I will recommend it. What did you rate the one-shot comic?
I will give it a 7.5.
Right, I'm going to give this an 8.5.
Ooh, that's very high.
Because I think this is a really great episode, In the Name of the Rebellion, a great two-parter. And the season 4 of Star Wars Rebels, and season 4 of Star Wars Rebels, it may be the final season, but it's the best season. It's the peak season. 3 and 4 are like fantastic Star Wars content. So that is what my recommendation will be. So thank you very much for listening and watching to our review of Star Wars Andor Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3, the first arc. And the second arc, I think we're looking at about 12, 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So a few arcs at least. And we'll see you at the end of it to review it all. Probably later in the month or next month. So thank you very much. And it is a goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.